Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap. We are doing a little bit a day early here. We are talking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, Episode 4. This is your host, Kriss and Dpalm, here for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Coulson and the team discover their captor's true intentions, and I love that the IMDb synopsis on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just gets it. They're like, we're not giving you shit for these. We are recording this on a Saturday instead of a Sunday because I have IMAX tickets to see The Last Jedi. So, and I think Dpalm's going to see The Last Jedi then too. So, yeah. So we decided to do it a little early. We're recording on a Saturday morning here, and again, not just jump to the end, but our man Fitz is back, and I'm waiting to. You're going to get the episode you wanted next week, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see how that turns out. But again, another episode where there's so much going on here, and they do a good job of splitting off into separate into separate groups that do different things on their own, and then kind of come together in a way, because you have the thing that was going on with Coulson and May kind of ties into what was happening with Elena and Mack, and then they all kind of
they're at least they're all connected thematically, and like the story threads all pull through,
right?
Even if they kept them separate, which I think was something that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been rightly criticized for in the past, where you couldn't see how these things are connected until very late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think now they're because kind of they're taking that pod structure, they're able to kind of telegraph it earlier, and I for one think it's a better storytelling tool.
Right, and I actually I think they're also one of the better shows at dealing with an ensemble cast. Like they do a really good job of giving you moments for each one, and still letting you go like, what the fuck happened? Like, we don't know what the fuck happened to May.
Right.
So
I assume she's been captured. They're not going to kill May off screen.
Yeah, no. So, captured and done with what? Because Sonara comes back and she has blood on the little metal balls, but she says she's handled it. But like, how?
This is because remember, Sonara's entire goal was to undermine Daisy and Simmons' story.
Right.
So I think that maybe she's going to be using May to build a case.
Yeah, and maybe keeping away from Kasius.
Exactly.
So that's going to be.
She wants to go to Kasius with answers, not more questions.
Right. So I think that's going to be really interesting to see how that works out. But anyway, one of the first things I really like. Let's start with Mack and Elena because Mack had. Next to Fitz, probably had the hardest time in the framework because he lost his daughter again. And so when you get and you forget because Mack, Mack shotgun axe Max. He's the big guy. He's been playing this season very. He's been kind of like we've joked like Mack is us, like the way he's been reacting to shit. Well, not just that, but like when you look at Mack loooks like the bruiser of the group, right? He's the big. It's the same thing Grill said.
Even the dude said it.
Yeah, he's like, oh come on, man, look at you. You're fucking. You're huge. You're an enforcer. That's what you are. But when you think about it, Mack's never really been that either on the team.
Mack was tech support.
Right, he really was. He was
Mack was an engineer. Like Mack built shit.
Right. So, in this episode where he goes and he has to deal with he asked to go and be the muscle, and he finds this guy, and they find out that the guy is the not tech, but I guess the package that this guy is getting is a baby. And when that dude brings up, well, you would never be a good father. I was like, oh.
I was like, no, wrong. No, not that one. No, don't do that. I was like, no. Of all the attacks, my friend.
Right. And
this is the one that you getting hit the hardest.
Right. But that was great and everything like that. But what really got me though was the conversation that Mack and Elena had afterwards.
Yeah.
When Mack was like, well, am I a good father? I was able to move on from Hope when she was real fairly quickly. I'm having a harder time with the fake Hope, and you see that this is something that while he doesn't show it, it's been fucking with him. You know, it's been fucking, and it's a real thing. And, you know, obviously to me, it makes sense because it's like, well, Mac, you raised this Hope. Like, Hope died when she was younger.
Like, years are years.
Right. In your mind, you spent years with your daughter, more years with the fake Hope than the real Hope. You know, you were able to raise her and see her grow into this smart young girl who was also kind of tech support, you know, and live the life you wanted to live. Yeah, man, I can see why it's harder for you to get over this stuff. And
he almost died holding on.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I just really love. I love how they've been putting in small little things like this in each episode with how the team is dealing with the effects of last season. Because it's easy to forget because we're in space now. In the future, it's easy to forget that, last season was pretty rough for all of them.
They went through some shit.
They went through some shit. You know, they got dragged into the framework and they all lived what was considered more perfect life. For some of them, it was really fucked up. Like, you know, May was Hydra. You know, I mean, she brought that up a few episodes ago. So it's like, I like the fact that they've been throwing that in there, and I really like the fact that Mack is here and him not wanting to lose himself. Like the conversation him and Elena had where she was like, "Hey, you grew up in the suburbs. I grew up in a place like this." He was like, "Yeah, you hated it there. You wanted to get out. You didn't want that. I don't want us to lose ourselves." You know, they brought the fact that, you know, Elena switched the gun onto the dude from last week, and that ended up getting him killed. You know, and he's like, "Yeah, we got to find different ways."
You brought up on last week's episode too,
right? It's like, and you know what? It makes sense because this. What I love about this is every character right now feels like it doesn't feel like they're changing characters. Like this is Mack. Mack has always been the one to question. He's always, if you think about it, Mack's always been the one to keep the group grounded. You know, like when I think it was season 2. He was the one that's calling Coulson into question. I think at one point Coulson trusted him with the
Coulson made him
temporary director for a while.
Director of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah.
Yeah, for a while. Like Mack's always been like the moral ground for this team, quietly. And so it makes sense to me that here in the future he's like, yeah, I get the rules are different. I get we're in the future, but we got to maintain who we are. We can't integrate into the society wholeheartedly because they don't care. And I think that's really important for his character to keep that going, particularly after what he went through last season. So it's good to see him. And you know what I think is going to happen. Because you saw at the end when Grill talked to him, it was like, "Oh man, you're pretty good. You do. I got paid. We did everything we need to. You're pretty good at this. You're gonna fit right in." And you can just see that look in Mack's face, like, "Well, maybe I should." You know, and I think that's gonna be an interesting struggle for him. So I don't know. I really enjoyed what they did with those two characters with that. And again, like you said, putting characters. This is something this show does really well. Breaking characters off into pairs and then sending them off to do their thing. So
right.
We like that. May and first of all, Deke is an asshole.
Deke is an asshole.
Yeah, I think we debated last week. It's like, well, did he do it on purpose? Did he had a higher plan? No. We kind of find out. No, he didn't.
I think it was a plan though, because remember he started to go close to something. It's not what you think. And then they got cut off by the Kree.
True. Maybe.
Like I think they're setting us up for that long late con.
We'll see. I just know I'm glad they
did a really good job of framing him as a guy we should hate, though. You're right.
Well, they did that, but then also when you get the reveal that his father. Well, so when he reveals to Coulson about why he's like the way he is, like I was 9 when my mom was killed. You know, shortly after that, my dad picked up he came from a family of fighters and became an orphan because of it. So it's like
naturally the fight's been taken. That makes sense,
right? So it's like So my feeling like Deke's an asshole. Fuck him was all up until he had that conversation with Coulson. Then I was like, God damn it, man!
Damn it! Now I gotta not
right. Now I gotta care. And then when he was like, yeah, that was my dad's voice on the radio, and I'm like, that makes sense. That explains why all of a sudden he changed his mind. Because
but once you hear it on the radio, like, come clean about everything. Okay, I hear cards on the table.
Yeah, well, but I also, again, I understand why he wouldn't. I get why he wouldn't. I'm just saying that's what the move should have been. Oh yeah, and don't get me wrong, Coulson did the right thing. Yeah, we can't trust you. Like, it's a start. We're gonna seal you in here. And they sealed him in the room. Like, I love Coulson.
He looked mad confused. I was like, why are you so confused?
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude.
This is illogical. This is what had to happen.
Yeah, you can't be true. So, but no, I really love what they're doing with Deke, because, like I said, you go from, man, you're a fucking asshole. You really sold out Daisy. You then lied to Coulson. Then, oh yeah, no, I just saw her like that's another reason.
Morning. She came up yesterday. Fuck.
Yeah, well, that's another reason why I'm like, I'm not sure there's a larger deal. There's a larger story with it, because he lied to them about what he did. If it really was his plan, he would have came clean. Was like, listen, she was going to get caught, so he worked it out, and this is what she's doing, and this is where she's at. But he tried to be like, oh no, I saw her this morning. Daisy, what the fuck is Daisy?
But maybe, on counterpoint, he's keeping the circle tight. Let's say they get kidnapped.
Valid.
You want them to go, like,
valid point.
There are reasons. And I'll tell you this, he understands this place to a level, like, the way he was doing shit, like, the way he got them in the 35.
Valid. Like you said,
he knows this shit.
Oh no, he definitely does. He definitely does know that. He definitely knows the place. And
I mean, you're probably right, but I'm gonna give him a chance. You're probably right.
Yeah. But no, I and like I said, I get it. Like, when up until this, like, when he was with Coulson and May, and May was like, you don't trust him. And Coulson was like, hey, do you trust him? May's like, come on, you know me better than that. When he showed up and opened the door, I could have sworn they were gonna fuck him up right then, right? Yeah. So, and I was just waiting. I was waiting for Deke to turn on them, and he didn't. And then when you find out, oh, that's why he now is invested in getting down to the thing. And again, here's the thing. I don't think Deke is a bad person. I think he like you said, he knows this environment. He knows what the lighthouse is. He knows what it takes to survive there. And that sometimes means being a grimy fucking dude. Like, it's just, you gotta do what you gotta do. And until you have skin in the game, fuck it. But now he has skin in the game. He's like, yo, that was my dad's voice. He's on the surface. What the fuck? Like, what's going on with this? So, yeah, man. So, like, he deserves to get, every time he gets punched, though, it's well deserved.
Oh, it's so satisfying.
Oh, it is. Like, what I love about that, I knew Coulson was good. The minute Coulson asked him, hey, is it too tight? I was like, Coulson's gonna fuck him up. Coulson's gonna punch him so hard, because he come at, it's like, you can tell when Coulson's gonna do something. When Clark, he's just like, no, are you okay? Is that fine?
No,
he's
too calm. He's too calm.
Yeah, he's way too calm. And it's like they just had to leave May behind, and we know how Coulson feels about May. And Daisy's missing, which is basically his daughter. And like, I can feel the punch coming. And when it did, it was so satisfying. Daisy's like, what are you doing? Come on, no, you don't get to say anything there, dude. You gotta eat that. You gotta eat that punch, man.
That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, you gotta take that one. Also, shout out to May just being a general badass. Like, Coulson's like, your leg. She held her own.
That one girl with the Benoit balls. We were terrified of her for 2 episodes.
Right.
May picked up a stick and was like, "What the fuck are these?"
Yo, when she jumped, when the balls came out and she jumped like in between them and did like a flip,
bro.
See, it's at that point the scenario should have known, like, hey, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't fuck with this chick,
or at least get some backup.
Yeah, because I'm just saying, like,
it's gonna be a long day at the office. This is not gonna be a quick. It's gonna be a short situation.
I'm just saying, she got lucky that May's leg was so fucked up. So,
she really did.
I'm just saying, without the fucked up leg, I'm just saying, May got some hits in. Yeah, right. I'm just saying, May got some hits in. So, just saying. So that's gonna be an interesting thing to see what goes on with that. And I love that fight again. Love how they handle the fight scenes on the show. It's almost like only if Inhumans had.
Well, I think another thing I like about this show so far this year is that They've taken what we know to intellectually be a budget cut and not make it look a budget cut
at all. Like, yeah, it's
because the grimy looks grimy, and the upper levels look great.
Yes, and they handle it pretty well. So, I think the show does really well with what they're given. Like, you give them a lower budget, all right, fine, we can still do that. Because, like, there was that shot where they showed the ship coming in. That looked amazing.
It looked amazing.
That was an amazing shot. So it's like
I double take. I was like, wait a second, is this like where have I seen this? Is this stock footage from another show? I was like, no, this is a new production for this show. That's crazy.
Yeah. What they've done is you keep the lower levels dark and dingy and gritty, and have literally the team like in the trenches, crushing. That's the crusher jokes. Crushing things, and then you go up to the upper top, and you have everything clean and nice and pretty, and then you can spend money on human fights. You can spend money on the shots of space, but you don't have to do it all the time. So you hit them where it counts, and
really clearly defined aesthetic for everything, and they just stick with it.
Mm-hmm. And it works. So, also. So going back to the main Coulson thing, finding out that one, they've kind of sterilized the population, and so I want to know where they're getting the babies from. So that's one thing too, because I don't think they ever.
I mean, they have Kree bioengineers probably like building these babies.
So they're building the babies
because they're trying to put the inhuman DNA in them.
That's right. Yeah. So we got to build a baby factory here, and with the and it goes into what we also as comic book fans know about the Kree, trying to genetically engineer Inhumans and experiment on humans themselves. So again, it all makes sense. They've literally just created. They had these humans here just to create their the ore for their economy and to experiment on the kids they grow. And it actually works out fine because so what you've done is they're genetically creating human babies. They give these human babies to humans who can't have kids themselves. Those kids get raised by these human parents, and then the Kasius and them put the kids through Terrigenesis, and then if they like the power they have there, they're like, hey, listen, you have to you have to go through this, and then we'll take care of your families. I think what's going to happen is we're going to find out, are they really taking care of the families?
Well, no, they're going to blow up the fucking base.
Well, no. Even before that. Like the one last week, she was like, "Oh no, they're going to make sure my families are okay."
Even if they take care of their families, you got to realize it's temporary because the end goal was always to blow up the base.
Yeah, true. So, but that's how they've kind of created this. 'Cause you got to wonder yourself. It's like, okay, you start getting Inhumans that are powerful. Yeah, okay, you have the inhibitors and things like that, but at some point, you're going to get an Inhuman that can take care of that stuff. So how are you doing this? And it's like, oh, it's easy. You have these little babies grow and raise in an environment where they get attached to these parents who aren't technically their biological parents, but they don't know that. And they're like, okay, I'll do anything to make sure my family is safe.
Right.
And they've created, like, again, it's evil, but ingenious.
Yeah, wrong. Yeah, it doesn't mean dumb. Yeah. Evil doesn't mean dumb.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's evil. I'm not saying that this is something that we should definitely be doing. Evil. Just saying, it's very, very evil, but it's good. And then we get so what was the name of the? Did they give us the name of the new Inhuman that Daisy was talking
to? IMDb lists his name as Ben.
Okay, he's Ben. All right, we'll take him Ben.
But his name's never mentioned, I don't think.
I don't think so. I didn't think so either.
You didn't miss anything. I had to go back. I was like, wait a second. I don't think I know this character's name.
No, they didn't give us his name. So, it was a great scene when they brought him in to see if Daisy and Jemma were lying. But I also like the idea that he didn't explain all what his powers could do to the Kree. Like, he knows.
That was probably the most tense scene this show's ever done.
Yeah.
Was when Kasius stands between them, so there's no way for Jemma to read the lips. Like, I think you and I and other people who are kind of versed in how these powers are canonically work kind of expected it, but it was still tense.
Oh, it was. Like, first of all, I was like, all right, cool. So how are they gonna get out of this? Because Daisy, I love that Daisy was like, all right, cool, fine. And so they started talking. I'm like, you're way too. And then you think about it, it's like, well, they are spies, so I get that she's calm about this, but she has to be in the back of her mind screaming because I'm like, how the fuck is that gonna work?
Yeah, and I'm like, so what's the next part of the plan, Daisy?
Right. And then I thought she was gonna. And I think what might have happened was she was gonna talk, and she was gonna have. She know Jemma can read lips, but then when Cassie stepped in between, I was like, son of a bitch. like, what are we gonna do here? And again, and then also on top of that, Jemma can't hear because of what Cassie has done to her. So it's like, oh man. And then when Jemma started saying, I was like, oh, that's Ben's power. Okay, he can also give thoughts as well. And again, you're like, okay, so why did you help Daisy when he was like, yo, this is the first time I actually was in room enough to actually hear Cassius' thoughts as well. And basically, fuck this guy. like,
it's not good.
Right. So we gotta stop him because if everything I'm doing here is to protect my family, he's going to blow the place up. So my family's gone. So that's not going to work. So we got to figure out a way to stop him completely. So no, but I thought that scene was, like you said, is intense. It was great. And I love Sonara's look on her face. It's like, the fuck, man? like, they're lying.
Like, there's no way you bought that shit, right?
Right. But he did say,
like, I know.
He did say that he got other people working on it. So the thing about it to me is, was he talking about Deke or was there somebody else?
Oh, it's got to be somebody else.
Yeah. I'm thinking there's somebody, same thing here. So I just wanted to throw that out there and put that out there that, yeah, I think definitely there's also somebody else, not just Deke. I don't even think he was even suggesting Deke, but yeah, I definitely think that. And yeah, and then we get the reveal. So again, I'm very interested to find out who these other people are supposed to be. So we have Fitz show up, and whether it's really Fitz or if it's LMD Fitz, we'll find out. But who are all these people that Kasius is working with? That he's selling humans?
So they intimate that he was assigned this post because of some shame in the past. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that throughout Kree space, everyone's kind of the king of their little fiefdom and can move up through the strata. This is his way up by selling the destroyer worlds. So he'll buy his way back into society and hopefully find a better posting. What I think is really interesting is you said if it's Fitz or not. I almost guarantee it is Fitz. It's our Fitz.
It's our Fitz? Okay.
Because if she's the destroyer worlds, like we said earlier, they find a way back. Mm-hmm. And then finding a way back could easily be Fitz found a way to them.
True.
Took them time, maybe came in a different time, a different place, and gained prestige off world, and now put himself in position to be there for this.
Valid. Could work. I mean, here's the thing. We'll get those answers next week, which I can't.
What's that? Yeah, this show's fast as shit.
What is it? That's gonna be episode 6. No, that's gonna be episode 5.
No, it's episode 5.
Jesus Christ, man! It's blazing.
So much has happened, Chris. It's been 3 weeks. The first week was 2 episodes. This has been 3 weeks.
Oh my god, this is amazing. I'm just not prepared, yo.
No, I was like, because I logged on this morning. I was eating breakfast. I was like, all right, let me find which episode. It's got to be 4, 5, or 6, or 4.
I'm not used to it.
I was like, damn it, maybe it didn't refresh after last original air date 12/15. I'll be damned. All right.
This show, man.
I didn't believe it.
Yeah, no. I'm with you on that one. It moves so fast. Yeah, it looks like they're going to, and I think next week's episode is going to be the last of 2017, then they'll go on break. So
good.
Yeah. This is also that also gives me the explanation that it is LMD Fitz, and LMD Fitz helps him get back, but it's not actually our Fitz, because wouldn't that be one way to go into in 2017 with the reveal that this is not the real Fitz, but actually an LMD Fitz, and there's only way Fitz could get to them. I don't know. We'll see. I'm really excited about see what's going on there. But even then, again, so let's say it is Fitz. Like, so is he pretending to be human? Like, are there other humans out there now that have their own little like? I'm really interested in seeing how all this comes together and where everybody is from and how they all fit in together in the larger Kree empire, and what's going on there. So, again, I love this show so much.
It's so good, like this, and I don't know, man. People want to say, "Oh, this show." This show's been consistently great since it started.
Yes,
and it's somehow found a way, despite budget cuts, despite failed spinoffs, despite canceled spinoffs.
Moving dates?
It just keeps trucking along.
Moving dates and time?
Dates, times, going on sabbatical, starting late for another series.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it gets better. It feels like the writing room is throwing a challenge every year and like, ooh, nice. And they just lean into this like new fun thing they get to do.
It sounds like they have a lot of fun in that writing room.
They have to. Look at what they've created. Look at the world they have built. And I know it's built in the framework, of the MCU, but they built a world here. They built a universe. We have the origins of Hydra as worshiping an ancient inhuman. We're now in the far-flung reaches of space-time with the destroyed planet Earth. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Do I need to watch it? Motherfucker, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the MCU.
I love when
the movies happen to occur within their universe.
Yes.
That's how I feel. Like, that's where I've landed. This is ridiculous. This is so... Chris, we just watched a show, but in 4 episodes, has taken us to a dystopian human colony on the outskirts of a destroyed planet Earth because they had vanquished an ancient Hydra god 2 seasons prior. Chris, if this isn't a fucking comic book, if this isn't some John Hickman hold on to your fucking seats storytelling.
Yeah. I love that Coulson goes when they see the baby, like, oh, well, this vibe just got full dystopian. I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong there. Yeah, man. Like, again, like this to me is, I know a lot of people in that first season, like, oh, they need to connect more to like the big character, you need to bring Thor and things like that. And I'm like, this has been a better show because they didn't do that.
Exactly.
This has been a better show because it hasn't been beholden to that. Like, they've been able to tell their own story. And I try to tell people this all the time when it comes to connecting TV shows to the movies. It's like, it's harder than you think.
And be careful what you ask for.
Right, and be careful what you ask for, because it's like there's so much, there's a lot of potential for trouble, and you're talking about stifling creativity. That kind of stifles creativity there a little bit, because you tell people what they can't do. So here, man, they just seem to have full reign to do.
The reason why they called on Justice League Unlimited the bat embargo on villains. So just leave it all together.
Yeah.
You tell your own story. And this is what you get.
Yep. And it's great. So also shout out to when Deke opened the door and was like, welcome to level 35. Which kind of reminded me of when Colton showed up in season 1. It was like, welcome to level 8 or something like that, and told Ward that. Like,
great pull.
Yo, that when he said it, because it just felt like that, and I was just like, son of a bitch. Oh man, like I love this show so much. They do such a great job, and it's technically going into a break next week, so I am really looking forward to
brace yourselves.
Right,
the whole hour, everyone on edge.
Right, because you know what it is? They're giving Fitz his Jemma moment when Jemma did the episode where she was on the planet by herself.
I think that's the episode we're getting.
And that's gonna. I mean, it's called Rewind. Boy.
Oh, see, I didn't get the stinger on the app.
Oh.
So I haven't seen anything. I was just thinking, maybe they'll do that. Is that what they're doing?
Oh, dude. Dude.
Oh, man, it's not all right. No,
I saw the sticker and was like, son of a bitch.
I was thinking, yeah, maybe we'll do him Fitz's 3,627 hours or whatever.
Man, right. I can't wait. I can't wait to see that episode next week. It's gonna be so good. So, all right. So before we get out of here, I want to talk the Disney Fox merger. Well, buyout actually.
Yes.
Not even a merger.
It's not a merger.
Yeah,
it's not an acquisition.
This is an acquisition. They're buying them. So for a couple things first. Like, I need people to slow the fuck down. It's going to take at least 12 to 18 months to finalize the actual deal. Like, it needs to. This is a deal pending. It's probably going to happen, but it's gonna take some while. So you're not gonna. I'm seeing people go, oh, so that means New Mutants is canceled then, right? I'm like, no, guys, no. Anything that they've already worked on and have trailers out for is coming out, guys. Like, no matter what we think about that stuff, that shit's happening. And I would even say that Dark Phoenix is going to still be 2 movies. It just will be. That said, I understand the wet blankets out there. I want to talk about, how this is, super monopolies and corporate consolidation and blah, 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 blah. I get that, guys. I totally understand that. Everything, I don't care. I was seeing people talk about, like, Ma Bell and stuff. Like, this is not like a utility. This is an entertainment company. Like, I understand there's still gonna be problems with that. It's not the same thing as having a monopoly on your fucking, like, on your utilities. It's not. It's not close. Like, this is technically optional. Shit.
Let's be real. These assholes are concern trolling.
No, you are. You are.
And I get it. Maybe there's got to be people in the entertainment industry who are legitimately shaken by the.
There was the Writers Guild and the West
Writers Guild.
They were
you work in the industry and you have a strong opinion, I defer to you. If you talk about the industry, shut the fuck up.
Nobody cares. We don't care. You don't really care.
You don't care. You didn't care about workers' rights 3 weeks ago. You don't care now. You just know that concern trolling gets you clicks.
Right. You're not. Like, I'm tired of hearing it. Like, and like,
oh, it's slick, man. We're not stupid.
Like, I'm just saying. Like, I had you saw the one dude that was like, oh well, Pixar when they got bought,
the Disney cultists.
And I was like, wait a minute, dude. Like, you do realize that Disney bought Pixar before they bought anything else that we have right now. And they put out more films under Disney than they have. Like, what are you talking about? Well, they haven't put out many original movies. I'm like, 7 of the last 12 are original. What are you talking about?
Like to hear themselves talk,
right? And that's the kind of stuff I'm seeing. It's like, well, we might not get original movies now because what if they might get rid of Fox Searchlight? I'm like, why would they do that? Why would they get rid of anything they just bought? If anything, you're going to see an increase in production. Because now, not only is there the movie stuff, but Disney's trying to do their whole streaming service stuff. So technically, you're going to see an increase. Like, I was seeing James Mangold, the guy who did who did Logan, who directed Logan, the last 2 Wolverine movies, was like, I'm really worried about the scarcity of original movies because of this deal.
No. Mr. Mangold, you did Lone Wolf and Cub as an American Western and gave the characters claws. Eat shit.
Like, when it comes to, and I told people this about streaming stuff.
I've never seen that movie, by the way.
It's just, it's not a bad movie. It's just not Wolverine.
Oh, at this point, it's just a point of, it's a middle finger to all the people who love it.
Yeah. Here's the thing about, like, if you, and again, I know you're not really worried about this, but people who, because every year we get people complaining about, I don't know, not enough original movies, and I'm like, maybe if you actually care, like. Nobody cares about.
Someone said the only original movie coming out soon is A Wrinkle in Time, and I didn't have the heart to tell them.
Yeah, I was like, that's not an original movie. First of all, and 2, like, every Oscar season, you guys sit there and complain. Well, I never heard of that movie because there's a bunch of original movies that come out that you don't care about. Here's the thing: the general audiences don't honestly care about original movies. We don't.
They want to be entertained.
We want to be entertained. When we pay that much money to go to the theater, we want to be entertained. But that does not mean that that's killing originality, because look at what Netflix is doing. And if you want a future of streaming services, anything you do on streaming is going to have original content. So Yeah, no, if anything, you're going to see a boon in original content because you're going to have stuff that only come out in the theaters, which, by the way, I think maybe what might happen is, instead of putting Fox Searchlight stuff in theaters, hey, I don't know, maybe you just throw it up on streaming. It's probably a better...
people don't realize that, like, all this this merger also means is that there's more content avenues to fill.
Right.
They need more content.
Right. Like the thing about streaming is, especially when it comes to TV shows, unless you do that weird thing Hulu's been doing with some of their shows where you release from week to week, most time is like you release a 13 episode season, people are watching the entire 13 episodes in a day.
I like the Hulu idea. I'm coming back around on that.
Yeah, I think I like it. I like having both options. I like having some shows that do that, and I think what Hulu's doing, they're testing the water to see if that's an option because honestly, you need to do that to slow down the amount of content you have to put out. Right? Because if you don't do that, if you just drop everything there, there's a reason why I don't. Even if I have 8 episodes done for premium, I don't put all 8 up right away. It's like because they'll all be consumed right away, and then people have nothing. So I get what Hulu's, and I get Hulu testing it, which also means that Disney now also owns most of Hulu, which might see Hulu and their streaming service merge into one or whatever. We'll see what happens with that. But like, that's the thing that's happening right now. The future, I was seeing people go, well, theaters might increase ticket prices in theaters, blah 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 blah.
What a stupid thought.
Or theaters do go away because you know what? They are kind of outdated.
As fuck.
I mean, think about it. Like, you're paying $13 to go to a theater to pay $20 for popcorn and a drink to watch a 2-hour movie. It is the most overpriced use of your time. And I'm saying this as a person who's going to go see Star Wars in IMAX on Sunday. But if you think about it, most movies do not require that kind of commitment. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go see Star Wars in IMAX because it's it's worth that. I'm not gonna go see, I don't know, Call Me by Your Name in a theater. Why would I do that? It doesn't make any sense, right? And I think that's what people don't seem to understand. It's like you're gonna see a fundamental change in how we consume this stuff, and streaming is the way forward because then I can get everything I watch anywhere. And having Disney do this, you're going to see a lot more because Netflix has already done it. Netflix is already putting most of their money into original content. That is where everything is going to. They don't care about people keep talking about Disney and their back catalog. Nobody cares about your back catalog anymore.
It's the next catalog,
right?
Old money don't spend like new money will.
Exactly. And so that's what we're seeing here. So this idea that somehow they're going to get rid of, like, for instance, one of the things in the deal apparently is that they're going to continue renting out the Fox studio for 7 more years. And then the idea is that probably they're going to build a new studio. So you're not going to see a decrease, if anything. And again, granted, these are smaller pieces than buying all of Fox. But what you saw with Pixar, Lucasfilms, and Marvel was an increase in production, not a decrease. And when it comes to Marvel, we always talk about the movies, but think about the TV shows we've gotten from them and the increase there. Like you have Runaways, you have New Warriors is coming soon. We have the Cloak and Dagger shows. Cloak and Dagger is coming soon. On ABC4, like. There's a lot. They're increasing the amount of content that we've had there, which guess what, guys? Jobs and work. From the creativity point of view, I was seeing that people are like, oh well, Disney stifles creativity. It was like, reminder, Feige fought to move under Disney and away from working under Ike Perlmutter, who was at Marvel. He moved under Disney and got more creativity because the fight he was having with Ike was Black Panther. I think that was the final straw. Ike didn't want to do it. Feige wanted to. He went to Disney. Disney say, "Come with us. You can work with us." And I believe they brought Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. with them, which is why you instantly saw that next season. Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. had the Latino version of Ghost Rider with Robbie Reyes, and all of a sudden, so it's like I'm just saying, guys. I think a lot of people are having this idea that Disney as a brand. Doesn't want to do. You have this idea of Disney as being Bambi and Disney princesses and the very kid-like, and you don't understand that Disney also at one point owned Miramax, and they put out Pulp Fiction under Miramax. Like,
people just want to be loud and be wrong, man. They just want to be loud. They just want to be heard, feel like they said some shit.
Right.
But
Disney's a company.
If they
they're
pay
about money.
attention to any of it, like they shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Disney's a company. They want money. They don't care. Like,
they don't give a fuck about. Yeah. They're here to get paid.
Like I'm saying, if people go, oh well, and again, Bob Iger came out and said, "Oh no, we're going to continue with Deadpool and things like that." It's like, yeah, Deadpool made the most money out of all the X-Men films. It is the safest X-Men film made.
Punisher.
It is right. It is the safest. It is the safest film that Fox has done because it's made the most money for them. They're not going to get rid of that and cancel that shit. What are you wrong? Disney doesn't hate money. They love fucking money.
That's why they keep buying this shit.
They're not going to get rid of that. All right. So there's that. And then obviously we get to the point of, and I'm working on an article to write about this too. Just all these characters coming home again. It's going to take a while for it to happen. And I think me and you have talked about this before. The Fantastic Four are the easiest ones to bring in. There's so many options there with the villains and
that one. That's the one that really like moves my soul. Like, just please come home.
Yeah, it's the easiest one. Like you saw James Gunn, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. He was super excited. He's like, "Oh man,
Gunn knows, man.
He's like,
he gets it."
He's like, I mean, I get. I'm really excited about this. And then somebody said something about something else, and and James Gunn was like, "Yeah, I mean, I get that too, and I'm fine, but Silver Surfer, man, like,
why? Like, what are we doing?"
James Gunn gets
coming home.
Yeah, and here, look, with the Surfer and Galactus, you get at least one, maybe two phases. Big bad phases out of those two?
Oh, no. You just do the Galactus trilogy.
Yeah, so you can get that, and then
that's your next 3 Avengers movies,
right? And then you come in with Doom.
No, you bring Doom in the middle of it.
Middle.
So part 2 is where Doom steals Surfer's power.
Ah, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Part 3 is Galactus.
Yeah. And there's so
much. Hire me, Marvel. Like, I'm here. Just like, damn it.
There's so much you can do with that. I think the X-Men harder. I personally, my belief, keep like everything's moving under Marvel Studios, and I think they said that already. But I would keep them separate. Like Feige oversees everything, but keep them separate and continue on and just do a better job. Like I don't think they necessarily need to be.
One thing they have to do, Chris.
What?
They eventually got to combine them.
Do they though?
Yeah, Chris.
I mean, okay. When you say combine, do you mean like do?
I mean, not like combine the universes. You just do one AVX the movie.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's to me the perfect scenario where you don't combine the universes, but you set up a kind of like what we do with the Arrowverse, where every season you have that one crossover where like they did this season where you had the crossover between the Earths, and you do that one thing, and then everybody go back to their separate Earth. You don't mix and match them.
Here's what I think you're right, but here's what you do. When the deal is finalized, you announce that the X-Men will remain in their own universe, and they will never meet the Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. And then you wait 5 years,
and then you
announce AVX,
right? Yeah,
and then you literally buy a printing press for all the money. There's no reason to even you don't have to drop the movie ever. You drop a well-cut trailer, you're gonna make so much goddamn money.
Oh yeah. And I'm fine with that. Like I don't need because I've seen a lot of people say merging the universe, and I'm like, that is a mess, and you can't do it.
Messy thing.
And
the story of mutants is linear and it's generational. The reason why one of their biggest villains is literally the first mutant tells you about how this isn't just a story of two people who don't disagree on something. It's a story of the emergence of a race of the next evolution of human being. That cannot happen in the shadows. That would not happen in any sort of shadow organization. This would be on front page news everywhere because it's not just mutants who end up on the cover of Time as X-Men. It's mutants who end up in the Stewards as Morlocks. It's mutants who end up experimented on by the government. There's an entire experience. I mean, Magneto can't be an Auschwitz survivor and not be mentioned until now in the Marvel universe.
So, I say it like it's the DNA of the X-Men is their struggle. You can't have
it's their struggle and it's their legacy.
Right. You can't have
the name Summers matters in like 8 generations of X-Men.
Right. You can't the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, is a direct response to basically decades of human bigotry, if you want to be honest about it.
Bigotry and oppression, yeah.
That's what it is. That's where we go, hey, Magneto was right. We say that because, hey, you kind of look back at it and you're like, well, I mean, just saying.
Was right.
I don't know what's right. Like, you take somebody like Wolverine. When you do Wolverine right, this is a guy that even before he got into the Weapon X program had lived a full several lifetimes because he's basically a fucking immortal because he doesn't die. And so you have all these stories you can tell before you get him into the Weapon X program, which, by the way, the Weapon X program is a program by the government to experiment on mutants. So it's like you cannot do this stuff in the shadows. It does not work. Nothing of that makes sense. You have to have it there. And I'll take a step further. When you decide to bring them in, like you could maybe do this in 2008. If you'd done it in 2008, I can maybe get with it, right? But now I have to ask, well, what's your reference point? Because right now, I don't believe there's any X-Men cartoons out. So you don't have that. No. We can't use comic books because comic books don't reach enough people. No cartoons. Are you using a movie? Because then the only reference people have is the movies, and they're a mess. I was going through this in my head before, and for one, I fucked people up by saying that you could have fixed First Class by casting Jennifer Lawrence as Jean Grey and Nicholas Hoult as Scott Summers. And forget how you feel about Jennifer Lawrence. Go and look at pictures of Nicholas Hoult and then tell me you don't see Scott Summers after you see the pictures of him. You're welcome. I just ruined your life.
I've got a casting choice for Scott Summers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't do it now. I mean, you can't do it. You can't change him now. But who do you have right now for Scott?
John Boyega.
See, I was thinking about doing...
There's nothing inherently white about. There's nothing inherently white about Cyclops.
I've been thinking about that. You do, but here's the thing. I've been thinking about this. I was like,
can't do Warren. Warren, you can't do because he has to be white because it's old money.
Right. Yeah, no. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about actually doing some.
Beast has always felt like a black guy anyway.
Who they brought in? They named somebody. It was a black bald guy for Xavier, and I can't remember who it was. I saw, and I was like, "Damn, he would be good for that."
Was it Lance Reddick?
That's what it was, and I was like, "Oh, damn it!" You know what?
See, and the only reason you can't do that for me is the generational wealth thing.
Oh yeah, generational wealth thing. I get you, but still, I was like, "Oh, that was a good one." You know who I get for Beast? I don't want to do a black guy for Beast just because. I mean, I kind of get it.
Because you're gonna make it blue eventually.
I was thinking about it because he looks like a Beast before he changed. Josh Gad.
Yo, that'd be really Josh Gad. Would he be able to nail the humor of the character and kind of also nail the like tragedy of it?
I saw him last.
That's really good.
I saw him last in Marshall and was like, fuck. Look at Josh Gad and then think of who you have like Hank without the fur, and you're like, fuck, that is Hank. Yeah. So anyway, we're not gonna get into the future casting, but like if they had done that with First Class, it would have worked.
If they'd done the actual First Class,
if they actually done if they actually done their actual First Class, but even
so can I ask him really quickly?
Yeah.
If you let's say they say, Chris, we're going to put MCU Network in charge of the new X-Men movies for the MCU wing. I want you to tell me who is your first X-Men and what story do you tell? What's your lineup and what story do you tell? Don't get anything cast or anything, but who's the X-Men you want to bring to the screen as the First Class?
So are we doing first? Do we have to do First Class?
Well, okay. So
are we going to? Are you just going to do the first X-Men film?
I think you and I have said that they've never done.
You're right.
They've never told us a true origin.
Right. And I know you don't agree with doing the actual First Class. I would just because we've never seen it, but okay. I like your idea of who you change, who you bring in, who you don't. Like if you bring in, obviously use Bobby as the youngest because I think, and then do the film through the eyes of the youngest. That really works. I like that idea. I like the idea because it's kind of my idea for a Justice League movie. Like my idea for a Justice League movie is bringing in, telling the story right after Barry dies and Wally joins the Justice League. Because then you tell everything. You tell the story through Wally's eyes of meeting his fucking heroes and realizing that hey, I'm a hero now too. Like it's a whole thing there. So I like telling the story through the eyes of Bobby being the young X-Men who is learning to become a hero. I do like bringing in Storm as the first class, even though she's not technically a first class. She's kind of treated like one, right?
Well, she's Jean's best friend,
right? And so
she's always been that canonically, and I think there's no reason to keep her off the team till all new, all different.
They've gotten Warren wrong so many times. I'd actually just leave Warren out for now.
That me too. So that's the shift I made. So my first class is Hank, Scott, Jean, Storm, Logan, and Colossus.
Yeah.
And I would use Jean as my viewpoint character because I think that what we eventually have to do with Jean, because eventually you're going to tell the Phoenix Star, it's fine.
Right.
Exactly. But if you make her the viewpoint early, you get audiences to really latch onto her.
Right.
And make her fall more tragic. And I think I would either do like the hunt for Wolverine, like it's them, or maybe this is where they hunt down Logan and have him join the X-Men. That's the story. But I think that you have to do it against the Brotherhood of Mutants. And then at the very end, like you treat Magneto like the Thanos stinger in Avengers.
True.
Let's put him in shadow for a while. Let's put him on the shelf and make him this omnipresent threat and build him for 2 movies before like X3. That's when we get Magneto.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because then you build up other villains without
exactly
dealing with doing Magneto again. You know.
Yeah.
So no, I think that's great. So but I think this all works if you do it separately. You don't bring them in right there. And here's the thing. You know what you could do? If you scrap every other X-Men film, leave the Deadpool universe, because what I keep trying to tell you, the Deadpool universe is separate from the other X-Men.
No one listens to us at all. I was like, Deadpool was the first one in a new continuity.
Right.
No, it matches up with no, it doesn't. Colossus has never looked like that in these fucking movies.
Right. And so here's the thing. When you do that, so let's say you continue down your road with your R-rated Deadpools, that's fine. You even do R-rated X-Force. You can then do an X-Men movie that's set in that same time, make it still PG or PG-13. You have Colossus. You have your team you just listed right there. You have it right there because Colossus is already on the team. He's already established as being the school's already established. The X-Men are already established. We know that the world's already like Deadpool can be your start of that new universe. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Feige and them don't do. They use Deadpool and the universe that Deadpool creates as the clean slate because you can do it.
What? The next Deadpool has a fucking time traveler in it.
Boom. It's easy. It's done. And it's also the closest one to the X-Men continuity. It's always been. So you can use that and you have people that are in charge of it that understand it. The person who's supposed to be doing that's named to be doing the X-Force movie is Drew Goddard, who did Cabin in the Woods with fucking Josh Whedon. So guess what comic books he's already going to pull from? You know?
Don't talk about this before the podcast, guys. We do not.
No, we don't. Like, that to me has always, like, I've honestly literally been writing an article about this, guys. Like, I did not call the Dpalm about it for this reason, because I knew we were going to be on the same page. But, yeah, and that's what you do. And then you can, that way, here's the thing. You can then continue with Fox doing what they're doing right now until the merger's done. Even let them do their fucking New Mutant trilogy. Let them do their Dark Phoenix 2 movie. Keep going. Keep doing that. Keep doing that because you're going to have Deadpool 2. You're going to do X-Force. And then, boom, when everything's done, have Feige come in. We're going to do an X-Men movie. It's going to be set in the same universe as Deadpool. Boom. Because I will give him this. While it's been stupid, it works out in this way because the X-Men movies now have been doing the thing where they're stepping through the past and they're with the 60s and the 70s, 80s, and I think the next one's going to be is Dark Phoenix the 80s? Yeah, I think Dark Phoenix is the 80s. Because they're doing that and they're all set so far in the fucking past.
No. Dark Phoenix is 90s.
Is it 90s?
Wasn't Apocalypse 80s?
I can't fucking remember. I
didn't see Apocalypse.
Yeah, you know what? It was. So this is going to be 90s. You can just pretend like those films didn't fucking happen. They were all connected to because here's the thing.
Just ended with the Phoenix destroying the universe, creating a Phoenix egg and cracking and saying the X-Men will return.
Right. I mean, like, just be done. Continue on with Deadpool. You get the R-rated films that people want, but then you can also do a clean slate. Because honestly, when you look at Colossus and Deadpool, you go, it's a clean slate, yo. Because Colossus has never looked like this in any form in movie they've had. Never looked like this. So we're good, you know? Move forward with that, and boom, you're done. and you don't have to worry. Again, you do the crossover that one time. Don't merge the universes, and then you're allowed to continue on. Because again, the X-Men don't have to be in that universe. And to me, the greatest thing for the MCU is they can continue on. Because the reason why I don't want the merging, and I think a lot of people understand this, is one of it turned out to be an advantage for the Marvel Studios is not having all their characters mean they had to work twice as hard.
Yep.
They had to work twice as hard, and they had to build up another set of characters. So right now, the direction we're going on the MCU, I like the idea of, hey, listen, we might not have Iron Man and Captain America, or at least not those versions of Iron Man and Captain America going forward in the MCU. There might be different versions of them, and guess what? We might be you open up the world to bring in, some of these newer legacy characters that we're still building up and still getting them stories, but at some point you can get there. I like the idea going forward with that. And I don't want to, people go like, because to me, this is a problem with one of the problems with Warner Brothers. They have everything on their plate, and so they can't fucking focus. It's like they're like a dog that sees a squirrel. It's like, oh, squirrel, and they're running off. So I actually like the idea of keeping them separate because hey, they should be separate. And allow the MCU has done so well on its own. Let's build the X-Men back up now in their own little world, and you can do that. You can tell, like to me, the stories that they're trying to tell in the X-Men universe aren't necessarily bad stories. And it's not that they're missing. It's not like, oh, well, they're missing Captain America. That would have made Apocalypse better. No, would have made it better is just if they had been written better, if it had better effects, if they had actually nailed the characters and fucking we actually had the fucking X-Men, that's what would have made it better. So that's the thing for me. So I'm really excited to see what they do going forward, man. I'm really, really excited though for the Fantastic Four stuff. That's going to be the special stuff.
Welcome home, Vic.
Do you think I'm hoping they're not going to do an origin story again, are they? They can't, right? Shouldn't.
Honestly, I'm leaving my pitch from last week up. That's what should happen.
What? I would say it again.
Avengers 4 opens with 4 unnamed scientists investigating the Infinity Stone and getting sucked into it. In the middle of Avengers 4, they get kicked out, and it's them full Kirby blue and black uniforms.
You know what I was going to say? I was going to use Captain Marvel. Because I already said in the past.
There you go. There you go. There, see?
Because here's the thing. The reason why the Avengers 4 doesn't work for me, because I think they're probably almost... I'm still pushing the theory that they might drop that in December. Because that movie's going to be...
So I don't think they may drop in December. They're still filming because it's happening. Because it ruined my commute this week.
Okay, they're still filming. It's supposed to be done next month.
It ruined my commute last week, so fuck them.
Yeah. But Captain Marvel, I think, is scheduled for mid-2019, right, which puts the finalizing of this buyout around that same time. So... all you really need, like you said, is all you need is like 4 scientists looking into something. You don't here's the thing, you don't have to film it. You can do a newspaper article that says 4 scientists disappeared.
Exactly. Background headline news report.
Right. It's the same thing they did in Dawn for the Planet of the Apes, where they kind of hinted at the whatever the ship that the spaceship they said disappeared.
Yeah.
And the one that comes back. Yeah. So That's all you have to do. And then like you said, in one movie they just show up. They just come out of a portal somewhere already in don't need to ask questions, don't need to work on anything like that. They're here. Like I'm down for it, man. Like Captain Marvel I think it's going to work out. Like I know a lot of people have been wondering why it took them so long to do that. I think Captain Marvel and them where they're setting it at, it might turn out to be a blessing in disguise. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's my thing. So, we're really excited about this. Hey, and like Dpalm says, we don't discuss this shit before we talk.
No.
We don't. If you, this week on the MTR Network, make sure you're there. We're going to put out our list for shopping list. I know Shanna and already put it out. It's so funny. I asked Dpalm earlier this week for his list because I was like, I know that if I don't, we're going to have a lot of the same shit. And I swear to God. Because you did your 10, and then you had like the honorable mention. I was like, God damn, it's everything I had. It was literally almost every single thing I put on there. Like, even things I thought I was like, he's not going to mention this one. Fuck, he did. So, but it was good though, because then it forced me to go back and do another list, which I really like my list, my new list. But because also I really liked, but I was just like, God damn it, man, I can't believe this. So, but keep an eye out for that. We're gonna have that up this week. So, comic books that you might want to go out and purchase. We're kind of doing
give the gifts of comics this holiday season.
So we're doing the anything after 2000, like the new golden age.
Right.
So I got to thinking, man, we got to do a pre-2001 list, right? Or maybe we do by 10.
It can't be 10.
No, it can't be 10. But because I started thinking about it, and I was like, yo, that would be pretty good though. We might have to break that one up. So we're gonna think about that. So it's gonna be fun. So anyway, folks, just stay tuned on MTR Network for that list. Also check us out on YouTube. I got some things coming out on YouTube. Hopefully this weekend. I've been tired, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and record I got the rest of my day today and some time before and after Star Wars on Sunday. So keep an eye on our YouTube page, youtube.com/MTR Network. And again, if you're a Patreon member, I know Patreon's gone ahead and rescinded the whole thing that they're doing with fees. I don't care. I'm still switch over to the premium on the site. I'm gonna send an email out for coupon codes for the people that were Patreons. I do appreciate you guys doing that, but it's easier for me to do everything through the site, so we're gonna go back to that. I might add another level for some of the streaming stuff. So just keep an eye out for your emails for that stuff, and go to the site for mtrnetwork.net to sign up for premium. We have Star Wars Rebel stuff coming out. We have some new molecules and shit episodes. We have an AVP nostalgia review, AVP 2 nostalgia review. That movie is terrible. I think we're gonna have. I think next week is our spoiler review for The Last Jedi, and Phenom and I might also get the rest of Future Man in as well. And I do know, not next week, but the end of this month, last Wednesday of this month, we'll be doing our mailbag, and it might be live on Facebook Live. So we're gonna see. Ooh. But send your emails in, mailbag@mtrnetwork.net, and we will answer them. Comics, movies, TV stuff. I know with the merger, people are probably gonna have a lot of questions, a lot of thoughts. So email us at mailbag@mtrnetwork.net, and we'll answer them at the end of the month on the mailbag episode. So again, folks, thank you guys very much for listening, and enjoy your weekend, and may the force be with you. Because just real quick, I want to shout out to the salty fan bros that have literally put a campaign together to lower the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. You are so fucking transparent. I don't know if have you seen this? Huh?
You gonna say why? I don't need.
No. I'm not explaining why. I'm explaining why in the fact that it's like I know they're faulty because they're all if you're gonna do that, disguise it. You can't all give it a 0.5 out of 5. Like they're all giving it a half a point out of 5. And that's what's lower. That's why when you go on to Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 93% by critics and 57%. It's not that it's divided the audiences, all right? This film is about to make $200+ million a weekend. I think it's already over $100 million just by Friday's night. It's by Friday, all right?
Which Justice League, like, fucking honestly.
See, I wasn't even going to bring that up. So, but
I had to. So, how do you not?
Because I'm trying to be a better person. So yeah, if you're worried about this movie and you're seeing, it's salty fan bros. It's the people that weren't happy about. It's a weird thing because they say that The Force Awakens was too similar to the other ones. Now they're mad that The Last Jedi is too different and takes too many risks and doesn't make their fan theory valid anymore. So yeah, go see the film. Fucking fantastic, guys. So just shout out to the salty fan bros that are out there, literally giving. Like I was like, oh, this is weird. I can't believe this. I looked at it, it was like you can tell, and this is why I never really believe the audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes. It's people that didn't even watch the film. Like there's people going to 0.5. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch this trash. I'm like, oh well, then why are you giving it a score? Oh, you're just mad. Okay, yeah. So anyway. It's gonna make $200 million this weekend. So didn't troll hard enough. Anyway, Anyway, folks, thank you very much, and until next time, we are out of here. Peace.